and we're gonna get to part two right now with the second case. Let me know when you're ready.
And this affect how you listen to Boston Richey?
I wasn't like blast him every day, but it's definitely gonna probably come to my mind when I listen to music. Now people say, "Oh, can you separate the music from the art?" Oh man, a little bit, but this is still gonna be a factor when I do listen to the music.
The paperwork doesn't pick a side. And Boston Richey.
Are you on the probable cause part?
Yeah. That's yet to be revealed.
Okay, just fast forward to the
2013,
little Boss Richie's. Okay, right here. We're on the right part.
Later that day, an unmarked police officer spotted the vehicle backed into a parking space on Holton Street, and after a short time watching the vehicle, he observed two black males later identified as DeJaris Robinson and a then 16-year-old Jalen Foster, aka Boston Richey, get into the vehicle and drive off. Locating the vehicle again, three males were now inside, changing positions in the vehicle before driving off as the officer once again lost contact. Another officer saw the three black males matching the descriptions given walking away from a dead-end street. He'd locate the stolen Honda as another officer responded to the scene where we observed Boston Richey walking away from the other two males. He detained Richey, read his Miranda warning, and Richey agreed to answer questions. Richey advised the officer he was the person driving the vehicle. Questions were stopped at that time, and Richey was transported to the Tallahassee Police Department for a continued interview. Officers located the other two men identified as DeJaris Robinson and Kelton Forbes, and neither would make any statement to police. Retracing the path they walked away from, police found the keys to the Honda and a stolen Ruger revolver in a garbage can. Investigators interviewed Boston Richey at the police station. Post Miranda, Richey agreed to answer questions. He advised
pause it.
Vehicle with three other juveniles.
So the police got him in custody, and he was like, "Hey, yo, let me tell you niggas exactly what happened. Let's go to the station. I need a cigarette and a Big Mac combo meal and 3 90-minute tapes. Let's go to this." They put him over. He like, hey, listen. He had his hand. Hey, I know who did it and why they was here and who was with me and what they knew. Let's go down station right now. The other two niggas who was with him ain't say nothing. But Boston Richey definitely told all them niggas what their names was, that they knew it was a stolen vehicle, and reiterated to the police in them tapes this was a stolen vehicle. They knew it was stolen to the point where they kept coming to my house today because it was stolen. I gave them their locations and who they are and their knowledge of the crime I was committing. He was on his Charleston White time. Let's go and play the rest of the clip.
He only knew one of the juveniles by the name George, and George told him the Honda had the keys inside of it, and they took the car between 2 a.m. and 4 a.m., driving it around until 7 a.m. He kept the keys in his possession the entire day until he returned to pick it up and was stopped by police. He then picked up Robinson and Forbes, who he advised knew that the car was stolen. Richey said he drove the vehicle the entire time until he parked. Richey then advised that Robinson and Forbes knew that the vehicle was stolen, saying they knew he stole the car and that's why they came to his house several times that day. He said he did not have possession of the stolen firearm. He said that when they were walking away from the vehicle, he jumped the fence and threw the keys in a garbage can while the other two suspects were still behind him. He is unsure if one of them threw the gun in the garbage can after he passed it. Now, the affidavit states, due to all parties knowing that the vehicle was stolen and their actions depriving the victim of her property, Boston Richey, Robinson, and Forbes were all charged with grand theft of a motor vehicle.
Wow.
Now, I asked Boston Richey about this case, and he'd say he took the charges for the gun and car, and that's why he went to prison. He'd say, I told the police they were in the car, but never knew it was stolen because he stole it. He'd even say one of them was his cousin, who he was with. But just like the last case, what Boston Richey is saying isn't adding up to the paperwork. The affidavit clearly states Boston Richey told police he told his co-defendants the car was stolen a total of 3 times. Because of this, all 3 teens were arrested and charged with GTA because they knowingly got into a stolen vehicle. Now, Boston Richey's team would say he was only 16 at the time, and the charges got dropped for the other 2 teens. But in my opinion, it doesn't matter. The 2 other teens refused to make statements to police, while Boston Richey agreed to make a statement, and his statement got them arrested. So in total, Boston Richey has conducted 2 separate interviews with police, got his own cousin and another teen arrested, and gave a sworn statement in a murder case where the alleged shooter was sentenced to prison. Now, I'll be honest with you.
All right, let's go ahead and pause this clip. Before we continue, I just want to go ahead and let somebody else know that we will be tagging them in this content. Let me find his name. End of Silence. We're going to be tagging him in this and making sure he gets credit so we won't get copyright strikes. But he was one who provided this content, released the information, and did his think piece on it. 2 cases you cooperated with the police that led directly to arrest and case solving and volunteering information, and it seems like you volunteered a lot more information than they even thought you even had. I think it's safe to say that Boston Richey worked with the police and like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what we really talking about? He worked with the police. That's considered snitching.
Do you think this will affect his career?
Yeah.
You know that one dude that they accused of snitching, Pop Hunter.
Yeah.
That killed this shit.
Yeah, it's going to affect Boston Richey's career because this is something that is blowing up in his own state. Like I told you, niggas from Florida hit me up about it and wanted me to discuss this. So because I have a platform, I'm going to have this conversation. And if anyone wants to like, call in, share, subscribe, hit that like button. My main thing is Boston Richey, to me, he worked with police twice.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them, you were the ringleader in a crime and you still told on niggas.
Nigga do anything.
See, the first one, they said he was 16 or 17. So the first one, honestly, I would still classify you as a snitch, but your age, I would have gave you some grace, right? If it was just the first case, I'd be like, all right, yeah, you still might have told, but like, yeah, all right. The second one is like, well, nah, bro, you really working with the police, like willingly. You know what I'm saying? So with that one, I'm just gonna, as much as I appreciate his music and putting Florida in the spotlight, if I have to bang the gavel and give a verdict to it, I would classify him as a snitch. What do you think?
Yeah, I would say he's snitching too. He's definitely afraid to go to jail.
Yeah, man.
I ain't heard you say you did not one motherfucking day, nigga. All I heard was tell. They ain't even have to motherfucking.
Yeah, personally, I haven't heard that either, man. So I'm kind of just like, damn, Boston. Damn, son, you really out here going out like that, my nigga?
How old is young Boston?
Man, he's still in his 20s, bro. It really don't matter, to be honest. Like,
Man, I think
telling the only age, listen, if you under like 15, you can tell all you fucking want to, dog. But like after 15, like you kind of know damn well what you're doing. So I won't really give you any type of leeway at this point.
I don't see his age.
He's a tattletale. And honestly, I'm not saying his career should be stripped from it like that, but I think for me personally, I'm going to take him telling into consideration now on to listen to his music.
But you got to understand, most of these black kids these days don't grow up in the hood.
You don't have to grow up in the hood to not be a fucking tattletale.
No, but they're not raised by those street people. Like
apparently
people
he was stealing stolen cars. He was showing up at other people's hoods. He was pulling out guns on them. Your cousin got killed. I mean, obviously you was dabbling a little bit in the streets to the point where you can be a witness to murders, and you stealing stolen cars after you're witnessing murders and talking to the police. So obviously you're dealing in street crime, right?
I wouldn't do no crime if I was a nigga right now, because snitching is like a part of the culture now. It's like people don't put the cover off snitching. It's like you almost gotta expect a nigga gonna tell on you. So you gonna tell on a nigga first because you thinking the nigga gonna tell on you. I don't even think the police gotta do their little mind fuck thing no more.
Yeah, definitely a tattletale, definitely a police informant. Pretty much worked with them twice for 2 Big Macs and 3 90-minute tapes and 1 Marlboro Light. So yeah, I just gotta go down as you told. We have paperwork to prove it. You lied when niggas to ask you about it. Once again, I want to give a big salute.
Will Future drop them? That's the question.
Future should because with as many Ricos and things that are going down in hip hop in Atlanta, you can't be having certified snitches.
Right about that, but that's a lot of money people he probably done wasted on that.
Man, what's the signing bonus? You probably sign a nigga for $30K in a bag of fucking rap snacks.
Nah, you gotta buy him jewelry. You gotta put him in designer.
Future does that for bitches all day. I'm pretty sure he can put a nigga in jewelry and designer and cut him off like you do these hoes. Not saying he is a hoe, but I'm pretty sure it doesn't really matter if you cut him off early before you can actually benefit off his catalog. Salute to End of Silence. Subscribe to his channel. Thank you for providing this type of content so we can divulge and break it down and analyze and feed the streets.